Hello guys, so today we will be looking at solving expressions by completing a square. I believe before you watch this video you are somehow familiar with simplifying expressions by completing a square. Otherwise, if you are not, there is a thumbnail that's showing right now. There's a thumbnail that's showing right now in your video. You can watch it, understand how to complete a square, simplifying expressions by completing a square. You can watch it and then come back to this video. Otherwise, if you have not watched, or rather if you are familiar with completing a square, then let us continue with this one where we will say solve the following by completing a square. Okay, solve the following by completing a square. Okay, solve the following by completing a square. Okay, so we're going to look at this. We're going to solve x squared plus x plus 1 equals 0 by completing a square. And then we're going to look at 2x squared minus 6x minus 8 equals 0. Lastly, we're going to look at ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Okay, so without any waste of time, let's get into them. Now, for our answers, let's start with number 1. I should say solutions. I like saying solutions. Number 1 is x squared plus x plus 1. When you complete a square, when you solve for x by completing a square, contrary to when you were simplifying, here you need to divide by the coefficient of x squared. So right now it is 1. I don't have to worry about it. So let me continue. X squared plus, remember I'm completing a square, half times the coefficient of x, which is 1 whole square, minus half times plus 1 equals 0. Right? Then we have x squared plus x. I will simplify this. This is half. Again, this is half. Right? This is a perfect square trinomial, so I will say it is x plus half all square minus 1 over 4 plus 1 equals 0. Remember, perfect square trinomial, this part here leads to this one here. Okay, so we then have, let's see, x plus half, and this looks like it is minus, is it minus? It's not a minus. It looks like it's positive 3. Yeah, it looks like it's positive 3 over 4 equals 0. So I will say here we have x plus half all square. It goes to the other side. It will be negative 3 over 4. Right, it will be negative 3 over 4. Alright, okay, cool. So now you look at it and you ask yourself a question. Oh, how do I solve this? Well, it's easy. Do not fear. So we will solve it in a very easy way. So we know from exponents and sets we will have to multiply with the power of half, and of course because it's multiplying with the power of half, I will plus minus the right hand side. Proceeding, this will be x plus half. Let me do this. To the power 2, I'm going to multiply with half, and then on the other side it will be plus minus negative 3 over 4 multiply with the power half. This basically reduces to x plus, I was just showing you this, it's not a step that I consider. I always think you guys know it before you get to this section. So it will be x plus half equals plus minus, because you have a power half, it means you have square root. But square root of what? Negative 3 over 4. Now what is x? X equals half, negative half because it is positive here, negative half plus minus square root of negative 3 over 4. So this is a non-real number, so we're not going to deal with it, because in high school you don't deal with non-real numbers, okay? We call them imaginary numbers. So I'm gonna leave it here. Okay guys, now let us go to the second one, which was number 2. We said 2x squared minus 6x minus 8 equals 0. So what we do here, because we are solving expressions, we will divide by 2 throughout. So this will be x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. This looks like we can simplify, we can solve easily, but remember the instruction was by completing a square. So we will say x squared minus 3x, right? X squared minus 3x plus half the coefficient of x squared, which is minus 3 all square, right? Minus it again, minus 4 equals 0, right? So we have x squared minus 3x plus, this simplified is minus 3 over 2 all squared, minus again, it's the same thing, minus 4 equals 0. So we have perfect square trinomial. So we have x minus 3 over 2 all square minus, this would be negative 9 all square would be 9, 2 square would be 4, alright? And this would be x minus 3 over 2 all square. And when I look at this, this looks like it is 25 over 4 equals 0, which simplifies to x minus 3 over 2 all square equals 25 over 4. Now, because this is a power 2, it will then be a plus minus the square root of this, right? Great. So we have x minus 3 over 2 equals plus minus the square root of 25 over 4. What do we have? We now have x minus 3 over 2 equals plus minus, these are perfect squares. So we basically have 5 over 2, right? Great. Now when we solve for x, we'll be saying x equals 3 over 2 plus minus 5 over 2. Our values are basically x equals 3 over 2 plus 5 over 2, or x equals 3 over 2 minus 5 over 2. This one here looks like it is 8 over 2, while this one here looks like it is minus 2 over 2. Our answer here is 4, while our answer here is negative 1. Right? So, if you go back, you will realize that at this point, you were able to see I think I can factorize this, right? But that is not what the question was asking us. The question was asking us to go through this long procedure. And remember what I had said, it is shorter. It will only, it can be shorter when you know how to do this, how to go about this procedure. You can eliminate some of the steps here, but because I'm doing this to explain to you, they have to be longer. Okay, but through practice they can be shorter. Okay, great. So we are able to find x equals 4 and x equals -1 as our answers. Now the final one, my favorite. We say ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So with this one, like we said, we make sure the coefficient of x squared is 1. Remember, when we simplify, make sure the coefficient is 1. This means I have to divide by a throughout. I will have x squared plus b over a times x plus c over a equals 0. Now I can complete a square like normal. So this is x squared plus b over a times x plus half times b over a all square plus half times, sorry, this should be a minus, I forgot, it should be a minus, I'm sorry about that, minus b over a all square plus c over a equals 0. Alright, so further simplification, x squared plus b over a times x plus b over 2a all square minus b over 2a all square, right, plus c over a equals 0. This here is a perfect square trinomial, which we will say reduces to x plus b over 2a all square, and this will then be b squared over, when I look at this, it'll be 4a squared. 4a squared plus c over a, right, equals 0. Alright, so I will then say, I am tempted to simplify this, but I want to leave it, but let me simplify it. Okay, let me simplify it in this way. So it will be x plus b over 2a all square. When I simplify it, it'll be plus, okay, hear me out, it'll be plus 4, it'll be plus c, 4ac, yeah, it'll be 4ac minus b squared all over 4a squared equals 0. Okay, when I simplify this, it'll be 4ac minus b squared over a squared. Okay, now I'm going to the next page. It'll be x plus b over 2a all squared equals, when you look at this, what was positive will become negative, what was negative will become positive. So what I'm trying to say is that this will become positive, this will become negative. So I can rewrite this as b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, now that trick again where we get rid of the square, it'll be x plus x plus b over 2a equals plus minus the square root of this fraction, which is b squared minus 4ac, or, oh, my mistake here, this was 4a squared. Alright, this was 4a squared. Let me check. Yeah, it was 4a squared, so it's supposed to be 4a squared. So it'll be plus minus the square root of this guy, So I'm not forgetting that I said the square root. I like writing my square root so that it is not squeezed onto the page or into the page. Okay, so we can further simplify this. So I'm still going to continue and say this is x plus b over 2a equals plus minus. This cannot be reduced in any way, so let me just write it like that. I don't know what is the square root of this guy, so I'm going to leave it like this. Alright, but the denominator, I know the square root of 4 is 2. I know the square root of a squared is a. Right? Now, we have x equals, this is positive, so when it goes to the other side, it will be negative. Negative b over 2a plus minus b squared minus 4ac. Remember, it's in a square root all over 2a. Now, denominators are the same. I can add numerators. Alright? When denominators are the same, I can add numerators. So, we have x equals negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac, the square root of it, all over 2a. Alright? You have solved for x. Guys, this is what you call the quadratic formula. So, you are smart. Okay? You are smart. You were able to derive the quadratic formula. You see now, you are a mathematician. You are able to derive a quadratic formula. We will look at the quadratic formula later. Okay, guys? So, as usual, x equals, you will take a plus and then you will also take a minus, but you will learn about this in the next session. Okay? So, with that being said, it's a wrap and bye-bye.